Hello, I'm Jan Moran. Thanks for joining me here at Rich Ideas in sunny San Diego, California. Today, we're going to be talking about smart ways to fund your company. Now, let's take it away. Hey Andrew, thanks for joining us today. Andrew Neer is with us, and Andrew's the CEO of Innovative Lease Services. And I brought you in today to talk about business financing, especially for the small and medium-sized businesses. Now, you're a CLP, I noticed. What does that mean, that designation?
Sure. Thank you, and thanks for having me today.
Sure.
A CLP is really, it's the CPA, if you will, of the equipment financing profession. It's an industry designation, and it really just it commemorates the fact that you understand the totality of the body of knowledge of equipment financing. Everything from various types of financing, financial accounting versus tax accounting, through legal documentation, funding, and the history of the industry itself. In this country, there are currently approximately 230 CLPs. We are proud that Innovative Lease Services has 4 on staff, and per capita, relative to our total staffing level, we believe we're still the highest in the country. So it's part of our commitment to excellence within the industry. This is what we do, and we want to be the best at it.
Andrew, I've been in business. I've started businesses. My first business I started when I was at elementary school. So I'm one of those entrepreneurs who's always thinking about, what's new, what can I do, what can I start up? But when you're in business, okay, first of all, you know usually how to do a particular service or product. You might not know so much about financing, but before you get ready to call you or someone like you, what is it that the business owner needs to know? How do we need to prepare ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely, and we have financed so many businesses in so many different industries with so many stages of time in business. My wish is and I believe that's what you're accomplishing here, is if we could go back and we could touch the business owner and talk to them, possibly 6 months before they even start their business, or 3 months as they're thinking about their business. The practitioner that wants to become a business owner, I would have some very specific pieces of advice for them.
Well, let's hear them.
All right, number one.
We should have a checklist.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, let's do that.
Number one, hoard your cash. Save your cash, conserve your cash. When you want to spend your cash, don't. Only spend your cash for things that are going to drive you revenue. But when you kick off your business on day one, the singular thing you're going to need is cash. There's very few businesses are going to drive revenue on day one. So you need to be able to get up and running and weather that storm. Number 2, preserve your personal credit. You're a brand new business, 0 time in business. The only thing lenders have to compare you to anybody else is how you've paid your bills in the past. Now, having some credit glitches doesn't negate you from being able to do your own business, but if you enter bankruptcy the day before you start your business, you're going to have a very hard time attracting any sort of lenders. So preserve your credit, clean up your credit, spend some time getting that as stable as you can.
Got it.
Number 3, do not run up your credit cards. The number one thing that will drive down your credit score in a short term is running up your revolving debt, your credit card debt. When, as a lender, you see a rapid increase in credit card debt, you'll tend to see a rapid decrease in your FICO score. But as a lender, we don't even really rely on the FICO score so much anymore, as much as what the credit report contains. And a rapid increase in use of the revolving debt for us it doesn't negate our being able to finance that customer, but it's a warning sign. It means that they're running out of alternatives. They don't have enough cash. They've borrowed up to their capacity. They're out of alternatives.
So when someone's thinking about leasing or financing in their business, what they need to do, what I'm hearing, is they need to see you sooner rather than later, at least to get information.
Yes, absolutely. You're going to want to prepare for opening your business. Some of the things that all lenders look at, ourselves included, is time in business. From day 0 to year 100, the more time in business you have, the less risky you are. A 6-month-old business is significantly less risky to us as a lender than a fresh startup business. And we do both. Okay, but that 3-year business, which is rare
in this business.
Exactly. And it's one of our core philosophies of enabling the American dream of business ownership. It really is. But the time in business is key. And how do we prove time in business? Well, you get a business license, for one. Or you start your corporation or your LLC. So do something that allows you to then go to your bank and open a business bank account. The two things to establish your time in business that are most important are some sort of a filing of your name of business, a business license, something along those lines, and a business bank account. I cannot stress enough. Yes, very important, because we're going to track that back as being your inception date as your time in business.
Now you mentioned the American dream, or
Yes.
it could be the Canadian dream,
Yes,
right?
it can be the Canadian dream.
Because you finance in the U.S. as well as Canada.
We do, yes.
Correct. And what types of businesses are you looking for? What types of businesses have you financed?
Wow, it's so varied. And we will finance a sole proprietorship. So I'm in business today, I'm a proprietorship. It will finance corporations, LLCs. So business entity-wise, we'll finance all types of partnerships. We'll finance all types of entities, but in all industries.
And we talked about the burrito shop.
Yeah,
we talked about the florist. Yes. We talked a little bit about, I believe, the carpet cleaning. And,
oh yeah, sure. And you name
cattle.
Cattle.
See, I'm from Texas. That's big.
Right.
Now, everyone from Texas, call this.
Yes, I'm your cattle. I'm your cattle solution. No, and really, I like to paint a picture, especially with our account managers that come into the company, because we have this question a lot, like, who do we finance? And I paint the small town America picture. And I'm from a really small town in Illinois, and every small town has a certain number of types of businesses that seem common, right? And so if you want to think about American business, yeah, there's the great manufacturers, the Microsofts, there's the home runs, but there's tens of thousands of small town businesses, and those are our clients too. So you drive into any small town America, first thing you're going to see is a couple of gas stations, probably a service center, automotive service center, tire shop. You're going to see, Flo's hair salon, so there's going to be some hair salons. You're going to need to eat, so there's going to be restaurants. Almost every town in America now has at least one fitness center and at least one tanning salon. These are all customer types that we finance. And then you have, small manufacturers, so large manufacturers, service providers, the carpet cleaners, if you will. But it even comes down to and I'm sure this speaks to your audience specifically, even authors. One of the transactions that I wrote that sticks in my mind was an author that we wrote for a vendor customer of ours. She was getting an Apple computer. She was just starting her writing career, and she called us and she wanted to finance this thing. And she said, "Well, I'm not a business." I said, "Well, you're an author, right?" "Yes, I am." I said, "Well, you are now your name, comma, author, and you're a proprietorship." And we were able to provide her with business financing for her writing career that she was just starting out.
Now, would that also work for services that a writer might need, such as editorial services, design? Today with self-publishing, we've got, when you look at authors, they are an entity themselves. They've got, before you publish it, you've got someone to do the editing, the proofreading, the graphic design, perhaps even the marketing, probably most importantly the marketing. So all of that, can people bundle that together and finance that?
They can it would fall into our working capital or inventory finance, as long as your business is established at least 6 months and you have some revenues. So, you're out there, you're selling some books somewhere, or you're selling a seminar series somewhere. So as long as you have some revenues that we can take a look at the cash flows of the business, and you want to do a large printing or a large marketing event, absolutely we can finance those services, as long as we can see some historical cash flows.
Okay, so this can work for people who are in business doing seminars, doing some online business,
websites,
products, things like that.
Absolutely,
Great,
absolutely.
Great. Which is more and more of how we're doing business today.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And back in the day.
Here we go.
Back in the day. Back in the day, it was very difficult to finance a home-based business. That was one of the red flags.
Yes, it was.
Today, it's as common as anything else. So we understand how things have evolved. We understand how people's work habits have evolved, and we've made the necessary accommodations to allow for that.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific. Hey, welcome back. We're having fun. I think
Yes,
we're having more fun off camera than we are.
Yes, it is.
We'll have to have a blooper reel. But anyway, we were just talking about how quickly you can act, because when you're in business, things are changing daily. And for example, I might, one day I pull into the office and I get a phone call and, oh my gosh, my rig just broke. And you ask me what kind of rig.
Exactly.
That's a Rolls Royce, of course,
Of
right?
course.
but say I have an immediate need. How quickly can you guys address it?
And it's about being actionable in the moment of need, right? Whether it's replacing something that's broken or you have a new opportunity with a new client and you need to act on it right now. Our ability to engage with you as the business owner in a rapid fashion is one of the things we pride ourselves on. Very much so.
So when you talk about rapid, how
Yes.
fast are we talking?
There's a couple of different ways to accomplish the financing. So typically for any transaction that's going to be $100,000 or less, we can do that on a simple one-page application. And I believe the application is on your website.
Beautiful. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So with that application, typically up to $100,000 in financing if you've been in business 2 years. If you've been in business less than 2 years, it's $50,000 on the one-page application.
Okay.
Simple one-page application. Tell us about your business. Tell us where you bank. Tell us about you personally. And tell us about the equipment that you need and who you're buying it from.
Easy?
5 minutes. 5
Easy.
minutes, yeah,
Good,
typically. With that application, it comes into us, either scanned, faxed, email, whatever. We're going to immediately process that. We have very much, it's a scoring system, but we also do put eyeballs on it because we want to see that industry, we want to see that individual. We'll typically render an answer on that in anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. So once that, it's meant to be same day or early next if we can. Once we agree to the monthly payment terms, and we're going to want to talk about, do you want a 2-year or 5-year, or what buyouts do you want, what are you looking to accomplish financially? So we get into a little bit of a conversation. So we want to put you in the right product that makes sense for your business and where you're at today. But once we do that, we can deliver the documentation to you electronically anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. So in a best case scenario, you're talking about same day type of execution. We're going to be a lot quicker typically than the person who's delivering your equipment.
Okay.
So we'll be ready to pay them. That's what we call our application only product. And that is a one-page application, very fast, very easy financing. Now there is a full financial product, which is typically going to be transactions over $100,000. Or if you've got some more time and you've been in business for a while, you're profitable, sometimes we can get that payment down a little bit with some more financial information. And in that case, we're going to request a couple of years' tax returns, maybe a personal financial statement on the majority owner, some financials maybe on the business, some additional information.
Which if you're a business owner, you should always have.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's part of your toolkit that you need to keep up to date.
Oh, absolutely. Keeping good financials in your business is essential to running your business. And as a former accountant, it's essential for a couple of reasons. You have to be able to tell other people how you're doing in an organized fashion and in the language that everybody understands. Accounting is the Esperanto of business languages, if you will.
The Esperanto?
The Esperanto.
Oh,
yeah, you have to Google that. But also, you want to be able to gauge how your business is doing for yourself. So proper financial accounting, you're going to need that regardless. So.
Oh yeah, the best money I had ever spent in running my business was getting a controller. First, getting a bookkeeper. I remember my first bookkeeper came in once a month. Today they can do it online. But that was hands down the best money I spent, and it wasn't that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was really.
Oh, your return on that type of investment is huge.
Huge.
Because your ability to provide companies like myself with organized financial data is going to save you money in terms of what you pay those finance companies. So anything you spend along those lines is going to pay for itself in very short order. So those are the two products. The application only, quick and easy. I would say that's anecdotally 80% of our applications. It's a one-page application. We run some credit. We do some of the things we do. We've got an algorithm that we look at: business credit, personal credit, number of different attributes.
Live person they can talk to.
A live person,
okay.
Always. Yeah.
So the process is they start with the application.
Yes.
That there's going to be a link right here on this page. Or if you're listening to us on a podcast, then there's going to be a link also on that page.
Yep.
You can go to richideas.co. We'll send you in the right direction to Andrew as well.
And there is on the website we've created for you guys a secure link. It is a secure application. So feel free to fill that out online. It'll come directly into our system. You'll get a notification email. So we've created that for you guys already. It's all there, ready to go. We'll have an 800 number on the website that you can reference, and that's going to be answered by by a staff member that will be able to answer your specific questions. And just keep in mind, we're on the West Coast. We've all chosen to live in beautiful San Diego, so our hours are 7:30 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good, sounds good. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed these segments on how to fund your company in a smart way here on Rich Ideas. If you'd like more information, just contact us at richideas.co. Thanks for joining us. Ciao.